Hey there, guys. Welcome to another action figure review. And for today's review, we're going to commemorate the 30th anniversary of a movie. A movie that, when it was released, it did get the accolades and the respect and recognition that it deserved. But as the years went on, and its sequel that is so closely associated to it, Bond, it kind of started getting a bad reputation. And that's kind of an unfortunate thing because I will probably rank it as if we're just counting, let's say we count that quadrilogy of films, it's probably number two. But that's a hot take that I shall further explain myself upon when I get to it. Let's do the introduction first. The movie that I am talking about, of course, is Batman Forever. Batman, Batman, you say? Coming for you. And the first thing I think about when I think of the movie is the kick-ass soundtrack, from the U2 song to the CO, the baby, I could take you from the wings of a rose on the grave, or yeah, however it goes, to just this potpourri of artists: Brandy, Mazzy Star, Nick Cave, Method Man, and of course, my favorite song off the soundtrack, The Offspring's cover of "Smash It Up." Man, do they do justice to the damned? And I think the Offspring has proven themselves to be a really great cover band when it comes to movie soundtracks. They also did what was it, Bloodstains by Agent Orange on the Ready to Rumble soundtrack, which of course is also another underrated movie in my honest opinion. But yeah, back to Batman Forever. This movie, when it was released, it was definitely a response to the negative reaction that Batman Returns received. Batman Returns was a full-on Tim Burton movie that co-starred Batman somehow, and I guess critical reception to it was not as good as Batman '89, and also like just the fact that they tried marketing the movie to kids. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I saw nothing wrong with it. I could with Batman Forever. I think it was just times changing, because we went from the '80s, in which RoboCop, Rambo had Saturday morning cartoons, and I think that's what they try to achieve, the same thing with like Batman Returns, I should say. And so all these companies all of a sudden rebelled against the vision that Batman Returns tried to instill with Danny DeVito bleeding black ooze as he died. Somehow they said that wasn't safe for kids anymore. You just couldn't have that in the movies. So of course Burton became disillusioned. He never was gonna make a third Batman movie after that. Pass it on to Joel Schumacher, and I feel, given the constraints, Joel Schumacher was able to create such a great Batman movie. It was the perfect blend of light and darkness, if I do say so myself. And I will remain a staunch defender of this movie for good. I cannot defend Batman and Robin. It has very quotable lines. The whole "take two of these and call me in the morning." That's just classic to me. I just like those, and of course all of Arnold's ice puns. But to me, this is an actual great movie, and it just sucks. It just sucks that so many people just want to push it to the box of Batman and Robin and say that Batman Forever sucks. No, 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 no. You suck. This is a great movie, and I'll I'll give you guys my ranking. Going back to that, I'll give you guys my ranking. If we're ranking the Burton Schumacher films, of course, bottom tier for me is Batman and Robin. There's no surprise there. Here's my hot take. Number three for me is Batman '89. I like Batman '89, but I don't know. I Something about it compared to the other ones. I just like Batman Forever a bit more than Batman '89. Call me crazy, I know. I just like it. But of course, for me, the best movie out of all of them is Batman Forever. It's just so steeped in character and originality, and you got a side of Batman that I don't think has been explored. You know, kind of a mythos. You know, it did seem like a gothic, like an Elseworlds kind of coming to life, and I don't think they've ever been able to capture that in any Batman movie since. But anyways, I do think that certain characters could have been handled better, but of course I'm gonna save that for when I'm actually reviewing the figures. But overall, though, it was a great, awesome movie. I'm glad that they're releasing figures to commemorate the 30th anniversary. I think Spin Masters is releasing it's Spin Masters that's releasing like molds. They're not the original molds, that they're kind of sized up, but it's based off the figures that that I had as a child. You know, based off the movie Batman Forever. I still have my Wayne Manor somewhere in my garage. That's for sure. But yeah, so overall point, we're gonna be reviewing McFarlane's Batman Forever line. All 4 figures with the Build-A-Figure bats. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I seldom collect McFarlane. I seldom collect McFarlane figures. I'm trying to get them all in frame. But I just had to grab these because who knows if this is the last chance we'll ever get, the last chance to be able to get figures. I know it's not 1/6 scale, this is 1/10 scale, but I don't know if they're ever gonna sign the rights again to like these figures. And I really did like the sculpts. Now, a lot has been said about McFarlane figures reusing certain body types for figures. I really don't mind that, and having much more limited articulation than Marvel Legends per se. Of course, I'm doing this video with the news and announcement of Mattel gaining the license to DC. So they're gonna produce a line. Now, mind you, they haven't said what it's gonna be. Before I start celebrating and I start pulling out my DCUC figures, let's not celebrate yet, because Mattel seemingly has hit home runs in a scale that's slightly larger than 1/12. Your WWE Elite figures and Ultimate Editions, they're not true 1/12 scale. They're sized up a bit. Same thing can be said for Masterverse. They're sized up a bit. So do not be surprised if Mattel decides to not follow through and make figures that are going to be in scale with Marvel Legends. That's what everyone wants, but before you celebrate, that's still not on the table. It's not off the table either, but that's not a locked in guarantee either. So you guys better be aware about that. But yes, I am celebrating the fact that Mattel got the license. McFarlane, unfortunately, they had a chance, and in my honest opinion, they failed. They failed when they constantly played around with customers' expectations. You know, the fact that it took them so long to make classic definitive versions of characters, and they were just kind of like thinking around making this Elseworlds version of Wonder Woman, and and this other version, and these multiple versions of Batman, and they never gave us like classic characters like Black Canary. She's been announced, I think. Zatanna. They don't. It took them how long? Like, it took them like 4 years to make an actual like standard Wonder Woman, like classic Wonder Woman. That's far too long. That's far too long into the game for them to just be able to do that. And of course, yes, Todd has a Batman fetish for one thing or another, and just the arrogance to say, well, why are you complaining? I'm giving you more plastic for the same price as a figure. And it's like, well, yeah, you chose to make figures a scale up from what is seemingly the norm, you know. And I know I probably have gone on this rant, but it doesn't hurt to go on it again. You never know if someone's watching this video for the first time and just hearing me rant. And don't worry, I will get to the action figure review soon enough. But point is, you made the same mistake that your predecessors did. DC had a line called Icons. The sculpting on those figures were beautiful. The one thing that killed that line was the fact that they made them undersized. They made them undersized to Marvel Legends. So you had a Spider-Man that would dwarf a Batman figure. Made no sense. And Todd McFarlane decided to do the same thing, except he wanted his figures to be slightly larger than the other ones, than the standard Marvel. You know, I hate to say it, but Marvel Legends are the standard. They are the standard. And until another line is done and it produces as many figures and it's as well regarded and it's as well regarded, yes, it's a subjective term. I know people are complaining about the price going up and Maximum Spider-Man this and you know and but for the most part, that's what every line tries to be. That's what every line tries to emulate. It's the standard, you know. It's the basic. It's the basic car, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Yes, there's much more luxury items available, done by Mafex and all these other companies, but when you think of like action figure line, you should be looking at what Marvel Legend has implemented over these last 15 years and how good of a job they've actually done. 15, no, 13 years. They really relaunched in 2012. But anyways, but back to this. I'm not celebrating McFarlane losing the license, and for all you know, McFarlane might be able to still produce figures at the end of it all. He might still be able to wiggle a way in and actually make a deal, cut a deal with DC Time Warner and still be able to make figures in some form or fashion. Maybe the deal is that he's still going to be able to make them in 1/10 scale, just not be able to churn out as much as he was before. And Mattel is going to have the 1/12 scale. That's a possibility. I'm hoping that's not the case because, you know, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, I actually did appreciate and did like the fact that he made figures of this movie. I know he also announced the Batman Returns wave, which of course I might be able to pick up as well. I know these figures are going to be a bit oversized, but sometimes, hey, you buy what you like and you don't care about the scale. I wouldn't get fully invested in the line because just, you know what I mean, I already have Marvel Legends, I have all these other lines, and they would stand. Oh, I actually had DCUC, which I'm glad I never sold them because they might actually come back in vogue now that Mattel got the license again. But anyways, I'm just going on and on and on and on. I'm probably gonna put a a disclaimer saying that the review doesn't really start until like 15 minutes in. But that's all I wanted to say. You know, I want to do this. I really want to do this, and I know it took a while to actually get to this review starting, but I really don't just want to open figures up. You know, I want there to be a reason behind it. That's why most of my videos have these intros, because I want a reason as to why I'm reviewing this figure, you know. And of course, the reason I'm doing these is to commemorate the 30th anniversary of Batman Forever, and also to talk about the fact that had McFarlane released these figures and released what people wanted year one, he probably would have still retained the license. Probably would have never gone to Mattel. But of course, that's all in the past now. And I'm going to take a short break. But once I come back, we're going to crack open these figures. And I hope you guys enjoy it. All right, then. I'll see you guys in a bit. All right, then. Let's kick it right off with who people consider to be the MVP of this wave, Robin. I know initially this was the hardest to find figure. Maybe because it was short packed in cases. I don't know, or maybe just because people wanted the Robin because it actually is the one to come with the actual fabric cape. Either way, for a while this this figure would be priced slightly higher than the rest, but of course, as time passed by and cases started releasing for each of the figures, the price went down on him, thankfully, and I was able to snag him up. Now, I wanted to get the Batman and Robin wave. I thought all the figures from that one looked cool, but I really didn't like how the suit looked in that one with the all red Robin look. I much prefer this one. I thought this was a classic Robin look, very colorful. Still paid homage to, of course, his circus attire that he actually did wear in the movie. And I'm quite happy that they produced it. I'm a lot more happier that I don't have to get the whole Batman and Robin wave now. If I just want to get a Mr. Freeze, I just need to get that whole, what is it, the glow in the dark one. So I'm hoping I'm able to snag that Mr. Freeze figure as I go through. But of course, packaging is the standard DC multiverse. You know, the blue, the white, the black. Of course, it says right there, Batman, Robin, Batman Forever. The Batman Forever symbol, classic right there. 22 moving parts. McFarlane toys in the back. The Build-A-Figure, the giant bat, which actually played a role in the director's cut of the movie. Played a bigger role than just scaring Jim Carrey into craziness. Collect them all. Of course, these glamour shots from the film. I think this is like the actual cover of the VHS. I'm pretty sure this is the cover of the VHS. So of course, collect to build Nightmare Bat. All this, all well. Everything's good. Let's open him up. As you can see right there, he is going to come with 2 pairs of hands. So that's cool. DC Build a Batman Forever. Let's see. Of course, it's the standard blue backing from McFarlane. Wow, this is a very big, giant wing. Very giant chicken wing. Of course, you see right there, there's Robin's card. He does come with a stand, but it doesn't seem to be labeled anything. It's just a standard stand. Ooh, nice. The cape feels nice. I could already feel the cape. The card is just based off of the portrait that is shown on there. Let's get them out, of course. Let's see. I kind of wish they would have expanded on the line and made figures for some secondary characters. Like, for example, like the one I really wanted to see be made was that gang member, that leader, you know, with the whole neon, like glow in the dark face paint that Robin ends up fighting in the alley. I thought he would have been a great addition to be made into an action figure. You know, very toyetic. Could have probably made figures based off of I was going to say Mr. Freeze. Based off of Two-Face's like broads. You know, the Drew Barrymore one and the other girl, the S&M looking chick, you know. They could have, you know what? I'm shocked they never made like Commissioner Gordon. They never made a Commissioner Gordon for all these movie lines. And they should have, you know. But the wired cape on this Robin is excellent. Oh man, it feels nice. Nice material. I like how the inside is, of course, yellow. Outside is black. It's two-tone. It's 2 different colors, I should say. And of course, there's wiring, so you're able to pose it in any way that you want it. So, you know, it's not Batman, it's Batboy, you know, that type of thing. Sculpting wise, I like it. It gives you plenty of articulation, butterfly joints. Bicep cut, wrist cut. Seems to be on ball. Yeah, it seems to be like on ball joints right here at the wrist. Of course, the abdomen crunch could also turn and twist. Do we have also? And we also have a torso cut, so that's pretty cool. Can do the splits pretty well. No, no thigh cut to speak of, but the legs can like stretch out like that, but no actual thigh cut. Double jointed knees. No actual boot cut up on the boot, but we still do have like a foot cut right down here. Of course, toe articulation as well, toe hinge. Overall, really good. Overall, really good figure. Really good sculpting on him as well. Does have a very good likeness to Chris O'Donnell, who I'm gonna be honest with you, I never saw in any other movie besides the Batman ones. So, because I mean, at least I saw Alicia Silverstone in like Clueless and stuff, you know. But anyways, yeah, very good sculpting, very good paint job. It doesn't look that sloppy. Crazy to think that this was supposed to be what was it? It was supposed to be Damon Wayans, right? It was supposed to be one of the Wayans brothers in Tim Burton's version of who Robin was supposed to be. Yeah, I think it was Damon Wayans. But yeah, very solid figure. I could see why people wanted him for the cape, just for the look. I'm pretty sure a lot of the Batman and Robins got replaced when this guy dropped. He has a pointing hand, he has like an open hand, and he has these are fisted hands as well, but he also has like hands to like grip onto something. So these two are like to grip on to something, maybe like a rope, a line, you know, a motorcycle accessory that they could probably make. McFarlane used to have the license for one more year. You could make whatever you want. You know, you could. That's a disappointing thing. He's making figures. He's making what probably people wanted now that they know that the line is on the way out. It's very reminiscent of what Mattel was doing with the DC Multiverse, the original DC Multiverse. That once they knew the line was dying, they actually started giving people good sculpts, good articulation. When for the previous years they had been crap. But what can we do? You know, but this Robin is very excellent and for its price point and everything. I'm gonna give this guy let's give him a 9 out of 10. He is a very excellent figure. Yeah, let's give him a 9 out of 10. Double jointed elbows. Yeah, it's just chock full of articulation. The wired cape goes a long way towards adding color and character to this figure. So yeah, I'm happy to add him to my collection. Next up, Harvey Two-Face Dent, played by Tommy Lee Jones. And okay, I told you I was going to talk about like inconsistency in character, and I do feel this is one character that probably was neutered by studio execs. See, what they didn't want a repeat of. They didn't want a repeat of course, it's mostly the standard box for all these figures once you get to it. They didn't want a repeat of like kids being traumatized by the villain, a la the Penguin and Batman Returns. So I do feel that they neutered Two-Face because I think Two-Face was meant to be a darker character. And you got to understand that Tommy Lee Jones is a very good actor. And I don't think Warner Brothers had initially hired someone with the prestige, with the acting chops of Tommy Lee Jones, who had, I think, recently won he had recently won like an Oscar for like The Fugitive. I don't think they would want him to pretty much be acting more like the Joker than the Joker was in Batman '89. He was literally Cesar Romero-esque in his portrayal of Two-Face, and if he was actually portraying the Joker, that would have been a great acting job. But that wasn't his job. His job was supposed to be Harvey Two-Face Dent, a real bad guy, someone that is struggling with two distinct personalities in control, vying for the same vessel. A kind-hearted district attorney that cares about his city, and just this ruthless mob boss that is kind of like his shadow self, like it's his innermost demons coming to the full foray, literally scarring his face. And yeah, it's a bad execution. And I think if there is one thing that brings the movie down, and that brought the movie down back then, and still and continues to bring the movie down to this day, it's his portrayal of Two-Face. They could have just made it a Riddler movie. In all honesty, they could have made it a Riddler movie and had someone else be playing like this gangster character, you know. I think that's the route that they should have done. If that's how they were gonna depict Two-Face, they should have just done, I don't know, like Maroni or Falcone be like the guy that Batman was trying to take down in Batman Forever, and like Edward Nygma comes out, and you know, they could have done something. You know, they could have done something. But yeah, let's see this figure. I'm trying not to cut them, but I think I'm gonna have to cut them eventually. Speaking of which, I do think you see. Whoa, his hand came off. Oof. His hand came off. It just bounced. Okay, I do think you see. You do see glimpses of what the character was supposed to be. Whoa. His hand flew off somewhere and I can't find it anymore. I might. Oh, there it is. Here's the hand. Bam. I do think you see glimpses of what the character was supposed to be in his. And here's, of course, the other one. You do see glimpses of what the character was supposed to be in that starting monologue when he's like, when he's terrorizing that bank security guard, you know, the whole dude, stinking luck monologue that he has. You do see his duality right there. You do see that this is a very unhinged individual, and they should have kept it like that. You know, that should have been like the most animated he was, the most kooky he was, but then they just made him a total Looney Tunes character. Sculpting wise on this guy, he is excellent. The likeness to Tommy Lee Jones is very good. He looks like Agent K right here, you know. So he is very, very, very good sculpt. Articulation though leaves a lot to be desired. In all honesty, he does hit all the articulation points, but his suit does get in the way, and he does get in the way of posability. I do like this coin flipping effect right there. Of course, he dies by his own coin flip mechanism. We all know that. But yeah, the sculpt is good on him. The articulation on him is not that good though. Paint job though, they seem to have done a great job. Yeah, I like it. I like it. And let me see. At least they gave him toe articulation. That's something to applaud. You know. And he could semi do the splits very well. I don't know about this thing sticking out though. Yo, it's crazy. It's crazy. It almost like the way the articulation is for like his legs right here. It feels DC UC-esque. In all honesty, reminds you of those figures, and especially the suited figures. But yeah. Anyways, Tommy Lee Jones. It's not gonna get as high of a grade as Robin. Let's give this guy a 7 out of 10, low 7, I should say as well. He's okay, but I do think just like his character in the movie, I do think he is gonna be the worst out of this bunch. So there you go. I'm gonna take another short break, but once we come back, we're gonna review the last two figures in this. So Stick around, guys. So before we get started with the last two figures, this is what came with the Two-Face figure. Just a fisted hand and an open palm hand to replace like this coin flipping hand. Of course, the other one is also to grip like a gun. There's no guns available on this figure. Obviously, it's a McFarlane figure. They want you to buy a weapons pack instead. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Does not change the score. Still a low 7 for Two-Face right here. Moving on to the next figure. Let's open up this Riddler, based off of Jim Carrey, of course. Yeah, I actually do like his depiction of the Riddler in the movie. Very good highlight. I know a lot of people, especially at that time, would like to say that Jim Carrey pretty much played the same character all around in all his movies. And, well, I mean, that could be said about a lot of actors, but his portrayal of Edward Nygma, when you look into the fact of who he was trying to base the character off of, it does come across really well. Of course, he was trying to base it off of what is his name? Frank Gorshin's depiction of the Riddler in the Batman TV show. And even the attire is very reminiscent of that. So when you look at those factors, you can actually see the influence of the character. And yeah, and he actually does have pretty funny one-liners all throughout the movie. Let me remove this scepter, this cane, of course. Does not come with any buttons to make things explode. It is kind of a bit warped, so we might have to run that through some heated water to like straighten it out. He also does come with a pair of hands, because of the two hands right there to hold the scepter. He also comes with a fisted hand and also like an open hand, and comes with the little mini Riddler bomb, the ones he uses to trash, of course, the Wayne Mansion Batcave. Riddle me this: what kind of man has bats on the brain? But yeah, I will say, out of all the figures, this guy, he does look like Jim Carrey a bit, but it's not that well either. I think out of everyone in the line, he probably has the worst likeness. And I don't know if that was intentional or not. And I say that because they did announce another Riddler figure based off of his final suit, the white suit that he wears in the final scenes of the movie. So there is another Riddler figure coming. I might end up picking him up. I'm more interested in that Mr. Freeze though, that Arnold Mr. Freeze. And there is something I will say that I do appreciate about Tom McFarlane. He does use production photos. He actually does look at the actual suits to depict to sculpt the characters as best as he can and have them be screen accurate. I don't think they once ever showed the shoes of Jim Carrey in the movie, and yet that's how I would imagine they would look. And you know, like these loafers with like green on them, this dark green. I'm pretty sure Todd looked at production photos or even at the actual props, and he was able to sculpt it the way they actually are. Now this Riddler seems to be chock full of articulation, thankfully, but I will say that the deco does take certain hits in certain places. And I'll give you a good example, like the butterfly joints. There's no reason why there shouldn't be no question marks on the butterfly joints. You know what I mean? See, it's a big gap right there. So he's covered in head to toe in question marks everywhere, and then just right here on the butterfly joints, they're just gone. And I don't know why Todd didn't. He could have easily done some paint deco on them, but chose not to. Of course, you could see like he does look like Jim Carrey a bit, but not really. The ab crunch doesn't work as well, to be honest. The torso cut is good, but the ab crunch, he doesn't crunch down that well. Sculpting gets in the way of a lot of things. Also, like right here on the knees and the elbows. I don't know if that's how the suit is. I might have to look into the suit. So if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I'm pretty sure he just had question marks everywhere. And he should have question marks everywhere right here. And not just in the areas that won't have articulation points. But other than that, there's not much else to complain about the figure. I don't like him more than the Robin, but I definitely do like him more than the Two-Face. So we're gonna rank him a high 7 out of 10. So there you go. That does it for the Riddler. Of course, here comes the Build-A-Bat part. And finally, we close it off with, of course, Val Kilmer's depiction of Batman. And not a moment too soon. It's starting to break right here. So either way, I couldn't keep these figures in box. Like, it's already ruined right there. Of course, he comes with the head. And yeah. Let's open this guy up. And I actually did like Val Kilmer as Batman. I think he made an excellent Bruce Wayne. Might have to be the bias that he played a good Jim Morrison in that depiction of Jim Morrison in that biopic, whether it was fantasy or not, did showcase a really dark, flawed human being. And, oh, what the heck? It also comes with like this. Oh, I guess it's the bigger stand for the bat, and also this is like to hold it up in the air as it's floating. Okay. And I think you do see the humanity. Oh, wow. This guy also has a cloth cape, but the cape is not wired. Okay, so I could see the... But you know what? I like that because it's very... You know what? It reminds me so much of the Batman Forever action figure. Like the actual action figure also had like a cloth cape of this material. Even though it might not be screen accurate, it's not screen accurate because I know it's a lot more leather-ish in the movie. I do like the fact that they incorporated the cloth cape, which is very reminiscent of the action figure from the line, from the old Kenner line. But back to Val Kilmer, I think he made a very good Bruce Wayne, even a very good Batman, and I feel in a way, I have nothing against George Clooney, but he was never meant to be Batman. Some people are just not meant to play a character. And I think Batman and Robin would have been a much better film had Val Kilmer returned and have him interact with Mr. Freeze. I think there would have been a good sense of some of the darkness would have been retained, because a lot of people would like to make that assumption that both Batman and Robin and Batman Forever are totally the same. And no, there is a bit of darkness still in Batman Forever, especially the flashback sequences, and I just don't understand why people don't see that. I do like the gunmetal blue on the bat suit. It's very, I think they call it the sonar suit. It's very reminiscent of the movie. Good shades of like black as well. Like I think the cape was like supposed to be like this leather material, but it's okay. The cowl is good as well. A lot better ab crunch here than on the Jim Carrey Riddler. Good articulation points all around. Toe cut as well. Can do the bat splits pretty well. There's like a crunch to it, like a hinge to it. And yeah, and the likeness to Val Kilmer is there. I actually dig it. And yeah, man, like Kilmer should have been given another shot. I would have really liked to, as much as I would have liked to see him in Batman and Robin, I would have liked to see the follow-up script that they had written called Batman Triumphant that had Scarecrow and Harley Quinn as the main villains, but also having Batman hallucinate the Joker, Jack Nicholson, like possibly returning. I would have wanted to see that movie, and it would have been awesome. Imagine having Val Kilmer just unhinged Batman hallucinating the Joker and Gotham. That would have probably made for a great Batman Part 5, you know. But of course, we didn't get that. We got Batman put on hiatus just due to the poor reception that Batman and Robin got. And does Batman and Robin deserve the reputation that it got? Yeah, it did, because they were trying to make it a toy commercial. They even admitted to it. And does this depiction of Two-Face deserves all the criticism that it got? Yes, it does deserve it, because they were trying to make him into a toy, an action figure that, something that could be marketed to kids. Wish this cape was wired though. It's cool, but I just kind of wish it was wired. And but yeah, like, this Batman is pretty cool. Articulation is pretty solid. Comes with a bat head. And accessories, it comes with like the grapple hook. It doesn't extend. Some batarangs and 2 pairs of hands. These are gripping hands because he has the fisted hands on him. So yeah, let's give this guy an 8.5 out of 10. He's great. Had it been a wired cape and maybe look a bit more leather-ish, it probably would have even pushed up to like a 9.5 figure, because this is an excellent figure. Obviously, he scales up with like the rest of my collection, as in Marvel Legends, all those other type of figures, but I don't mind. And in closing, is because I don't know if they're ever gonna make this line again. I know Spin Masters is making the anniversary figures, but that's one thing that that is one thing I will side with. One of the pros that McFarlane Toys has is that he would be adamant in getting these old licenses, these old figures, these old movies, and DC movies, and making action figures of them. I am gonna be honest with you guys and think that Mattel is probably gonna be much more reluctant in making license figures of older movies. They probably will make licenses for the for the upcoming James Gunn Superman movies and Justice League movies, and all this that's coming up. They're definitely gonna make lines for those movies, action figure lines for those movies that are upcoming, but I do not see it happening for older Batman movies, and hence why I grabbed them. Because even with the announcement, I don't think they're ever gonna go back and make more Batman Forever action figures, or at least anytime soon. It is kind of ironic that in closing, this Batman gets 8.5 out of 10, and the line overall, let's give it an 8 out of 10 for the whole line. The build a figure looks awesome. I am gonna build him. Of course, he didn't play much scenes in the actual movie, but he did play very pivotal roles. Let's take a look at the. Seems to be one stiff figure though. I think it's the only can't move the legs. Of course, it's pegs, so it could actually float up. I think the only articulation points are going to be in the wings and in the head. It's a very solid piece. It's a big, solid brick. So, just looking at him right then and there, I'm going to give the Bat Monster, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. That's going to be the score for him. Just it doesn't seem to have that much articulation. It's just a nice display piece. Would have preferred an actual Build-A-Figure. Give me that Thug. I kept telling you guys that gang leader with the neon, that could have made for a great 5th Build-A-Figure instead of the Bat Monster that didn't even play a role in the actual movie. Did play a big role in the director's cut, of course, but oh well. But in closing, going back to everything, yeah, I don't think they're gonna make these figures anytime soon. It is kind of funny though that they're making a Danny DeVito penguin figure near the death knell of the line, because when they were making the transition from Mattel to McFarlane, Mattel started making figures, and one of the last figures they actually made was, of course, of Danny DeVito penguin as well. So things come full circle. Time is an illusion, guys, and yeah, I'm happy with these figures. I'm happy that I got them. I'm even happy if they'll never make any more of these figures ever again. As in these depictions of the depiction of this Batman. But if they do and it's in 1/12 inch scale, I'm gonna be a sucker and I'm gonna get them all over again. Just letting you guys know right off the bat. Right off the bat, get it. But that's pretty much it for the review, guys. Thanks for joining me reviewing these figures, and like a kiss from a rose on the grave. Ooh, I like the way it feels and sings to me, yay. And now that the roses are in bloom, I like hits that bloom from the grave or something. I don't know. That's how the song goes, right? But yeah, or I should have just sang "Hold Me, Thrill Me, Kiss Me, Kill Me." Bam, 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 bam. Anyways, thanks guys for watching this review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed my rant, and that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.